density and what? Density and purity. And purity, okay? Density and purity as a subheading of today, and it is the one which we are going to look at, because side that we wind up is this topic of what? Of density. So let's look at density and purity. Now, when we come to this, of course, when we come to density and purity, someone can, or for you may be you may be a buyer, you may deal in a certain business, maybe like buying milk, you buy maybe gold, okay? But when you are buying that gold or that milk, the first thing is you test the purity before you confirm that this is pure milk or it is impure milk. Okay, so I think let us just begin by saying that let us begin writing that okay, we can use density. We can use what? Density to predict whether a material is pure or not. Okay, so as a physics student and you join the business world, so you find that you can apply again this knowledge of what? Of density in it. Okay, not physically that you are just touching density, but you can use the knowledge of density to run your business, like how to finding out whether the gold they're selling to you is either pure gold or it is impure what? Gold. Okay, so like on the new line there, we are going to say that pure gold. Let us take an example here that pure gold, okay, pure gold has a density. Pure gold has a density of, that's 19.3 grams per cubic what? Centimeter. This is what we looked at last time. Okay, so this is a theoretical value, the density of gold. It is 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter. Okay, that if on the new line we can say if you want to know whether a golden object is made of pure gold, comma, you should find its what? You should find its density, full stop. Okay, that if it is not 19.3 grams per cubic what? Centimeter, comma, it is not pure gold. You see that? So, and then finally there we can say that in pure substances always have the same density. Okay, and this density is different from that of all other other substances. Full stop. Okay, so this is what we are looking at. This is what we are looking at, like that. Okay. So members, is the worker visible, clear?
Yes, teacher.
All right. Today I've just changed it to writing like this so that I don't use maybe PowerPoint. Okay. So this, I hope you have understood the message there. They are talking about density and purity. Density and purity. Okay, that we can use density to predict whether a material is pure or not. Like for you at school there, we may go to Nambola and then you win the race, and then they give you the what? A golden trophy. Okay, but as a physics student, you cannot just take it as pure gold. You can go to the lab and then you prove, is this really pure gold or it is not pure gold? So how do you prove that it is pure gold? Theoretically, pure gold, its density is 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter. So when you go to the lab, what you do, you are supposed to look for the mass of that object. You get also the volume of that object, and then you calculate the density. In case the density of that trophy is not 19.3, then it is not pure gold. But if it's 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter, then it is pure gold. Okay, so I think there you can see. And then there we are saying that pure substances, this is what we wrote earlier on, that pure substances always have the same density. I think that pure substances, their densities are the same. Even if you have a plate made out of plastic, you get a cup also made out of pure plastic, you get maybe you get a box made out of pure plastic, and when you measure their densities, all of them, their densities have to be equal because they are of the same substance. Okay, so that is why each substance has its own value of density, and it varies from substance to what? To substance. Okay, so maybe I can give you, like, there's this question here. There's a question here which says, question, okay? And this question tasks you to answer something. And here they're saying, are there other ways? Are there other ways by which? Are there other ways by which? By which you can determine? By which you can determine the purity? By which you can determine the purity of substances? Question mark. They are asking us this question here. Are there other ways of determining?
Are we supposed to write it?
Yes, you write it, put it down. And then they're saying, can you describe can you describe one such method? Okay. So there's a task there that's saying, are there other ways by which you can determine the purity of substances? Then they're saying, can you describe one such method? Who has another method there? If you are to determine the purity. I hope I'm dealing with some people there who have ever tried to prove whether this thing is pure or not. So mostly we have used our knowledge of yes, please.
Yeah, we can use boiling and melting determination.
Very, very good. Okay, that's a very good idea. Hello. So we should we use the water? Water boils at which temperature?
100 degrees Celsius.
Yes, 100 degrees Celsius. But when I add salt in water, that water will no longer boil at 100 degrees centigrade. Will it boil at a higher temperature or at a lower temperature?
It will boil at a higher temperature.
Very good, because of the impurities. Because now
So maybe 110 degrees.
Yeah, even more. Okay. Anyway, so I'll not go deep in that, because that one we shall even find it in that topic of heat. Okay. Now, when you look at water, pure water, we say pure water boils at what? At 100 degrees centigrade. That's pure water, not so. But now, the moment you make a mistake and you pour some little paraffin in that water will boil even at a much higher temperature than 100. So when you are boiling your water and then it is boiling at like 105 degrees, then know that water, it is impure. Okay, so it is not pure water. So that is another method there. Of course, now for you to talk about it in details. Okay, so I think I'll leave you on that. You'll be able to there's that method there which you'll talk about that one. Like when you go to Google, you'll be able to see how, because here they're saying, are there other ways by which you can determine the purity? That is depending on the boiling point. Okay, another person can depend on the melting what point. You see that already I mentioned two ways. Those are two ways. One, okay, one can say by observing, okay, by observing the boiling what point. I think this is one point. That is in case the substance is a liquid. I think that is one. Okay. Then another method, another person can say by either observing. You can say by observing or by determining. All of them, they work. Okay. But another one can say by using a melting what? A melting point. That is in case the substance is a solid. Okay, like ice melts at ice melts at 0 degrees centigrade. But in case it is pure ice, I mean pure ice melts at 0 degrees centigrade. But if it is impure ice, then it will not melt at 0 degrees. Once it melts at a temperature below 0 degrees, then that's impure. If it melts at 0 degrees, then that is pure ice. Okay, so these are 2 points. So you are free to just use any of them, because they are saying, can you describe one such method? Okay, so you will be able to, you will just leave a space in your work there, and then you'll be able to get that. Okay, those are other ways of determining purity of a substance. Okay, is it okay, members?
Yes.
Yeah, so we leave this and I take you to another thing, that is density and relative density. Not so.
No, teacher, wait. I'm still writing.
Okay, so like when I'm writing, also you write, it is fine. You write, you complete. First complete there. Okay. So mostly here we have to know how to determine purity of different substances. So I think in this work here we have mentioned even 3 of them. For you, you can just measure its density, the density of that substance, to prove whether it is pure or not. You can also, if it is a liquid, you can boil it and then you see at which temperature is it boiling. Okay, so you compare it with the boiling point of that very liquid. If they are the same, then it is pure. If the boiling points are different, then it is impure. Then also another person can observe or can just depend on what melting point, and that one can also get it like that. So I hope we are done with this now.
Teacher, not yet. Almost.
Okay, fine. Finish. You can finish. Okay. So there we are looking at density and purity. And then we are going to go to the last item, density